Okay, this video is for Peanut Butter 4359. Do you have any tips for when you have like three different things to work on, but don't know which one to work on, and then end up doing nothing because you worry about not working on the other one? Okay, like the mentality of I can't work on this project because I need to work on this other project. Okay, don't worry, I got you. I've thought about this a little bit, and I've picked up some like tips, some shit I think is relevant. This video is literally for you. I'm actually so excited because this is my first. That was my first time reading a comment, bro. I feel I'm hitting all the YouTuber milestones now. You know what I'm saying? I've like been getting subs. I've been getting like heartwarming comments, and then now I just read a fucking comment and I'm making a video. This is almost like a Q&A video. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, so I think I know what you're saying. I think I understand your problem. You got like a lot of things to do, right? And when you try and work on one, it's more difficult because like the thoughts of the other ones fill your brain. Just like you try and work on one and you're just like, oh, but like, this thing is happening and this thing happening. Should I switch? Should I do that? You basically have, it's like your brain's, I don't know if I can come up with a good analogy. Okay. But let's talk. So, but the first thing is you should not split your focus. Okay. So multitasking is a myth. Don't split your focus. Do not work on one thing while working on another thing, or do not work on one thing and switch to another thing very rapidly, okay? The best way to do work is through pure, unadulterated, 100% focus on just one task, okay? Otherwise, you can call that like deep work or something. So, the first thing I want to tell you is just to not like switch around, okay, as much as possible. Don't switch around from one task to another thing. Once you pick like the task or the thing, the project you want to work on, I'd recommend just stick with that for a decent stretch of time, like at least like an hour or 90 minutes. The longer you can stick to this one task and just think about this one task, the better, because there's a concept that Cal Newport talks about in deep work called, I think, lingering focus. Basically, when you switch your focus from one thing to another, it's not like immediate and 100%, okay? You can't just like flick, your brain doesn't work like a light switch. You can't just snap your fingers and just all your focus goes from this thing to this thing. If you, the moment you start working on another thing, your focus slowly shifts and slowly transitions across the period of like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So what this means is for the last 15 minutes of working on project A, you're going to be thinking about project B. And for the first like 15 minutes of project B, you're still going to be thinking about project A due to this lingering transitional focus. And this heavily impedes your work. This is why multitasking and switching tasks is very ineffective. This is why I preach for deep work. So this is the first thing. Definitely don't switch anything. Definitely don't multitask. You're right. Like it is a problem to be worrying about like these other projects when you only have one. It's like, if you pick a road, right? You got like your three roads in front of you representing the three projects. If you pick a road, you're not going to make any progress if you walk like 50 meters and then you're like, oh shit, bro, this road's got mud on it. Let me go check the other one. Oh shit, this one's got, this one looks a little scary. Let me go to the other one. Oh shit, this one's got like a massive horse shit in the middle of the path. Oh, maybe this one, you know what I'm saying? So you're not going to make any progress. You're not going to get to like, if there's like a town at the end of these like three roads or something, that's like the destination of the goal. You're never going to get to the town if you keep like switching your roads and shit. You got to like kind of stick one, stay with its struggles and its adversities and just keep walking. And then eventually you'll reach the goal. And then maybe, you can take the other pass or something. So yeah, all in all, focus transferring is bad. You don't want to transfer focus. You don't want to multitask. You do just want to focus on this pure one thing. I know it probably sucks, it probably really sucks because when you're working on one of the projects, maybe your mind just automatically creates thoughts of the other ones. But this actually leads amazingly into the second thing that I want to talk about, which is this concept about deep work that goes as follows. It's basically being in the zone, okay? So because of this lingering focus, the first 15 minutes of your thing of like locking in, of like getting work done on a project is the hardest, because the first 15 minutes you're gonna be thinking about all these things. But after you've done a bit of focus and you've like locked in for a little bit, your brain kind of like gets in the zone, right? And then you're like, it's like easier. It's like difficult for me to record videos, just like start or script videos for like 15 minutes because I'll be thinking about other things. I'll be thinking about like a new anime that dropped or like food or some dumb shit. But then like once I start scripting for 15 minutes or once I start recording for 15 minutes, I'm like in the zone. Like right now, like I'm literally recording right now. I can't be thinking about other things. But even if I wasn't recording, if I was like doing scripting, I wouldn't be thinking about other things because I'm like already in the zone because I've spent like 15 minutes like warming up for this work. If that makes any sense. I might be like absolutely botching this explanation. So one thing that I want you to know is that the first like 15 minutes of doing your work are the most important. If you can get past that, momentum is going to help carry you for the rest of like your deep work block, however long you want to work, whether that be like an hour or 90 minutes or whatever. There are some ways you can like train this focus. So one way I think that deep work taught me, I'm pretty sure, I don't remember, it could have been Andrew Huberman as well, is basically pick a point on the wall, any point, literally anything, stare at it profusely, intensely, like you're trying to kill it, bro, with your fucking laser eyes, like try and beam that shit for like a minute. And that's just gonna like kind of train your focus and eliminate some other thoughts. You can also hit a short meditation session before you go into your work, sort of clear your thoughts for the same thing, and hopefully you can like get in the zone. You know, it's like weird calling it the zone because the zone is for like sports, but like hopefully you get what I mean. Okay. Another thing I want to say is that out of like the 3 projects you have, I would imagine that one of them is harder than the other, right? Like there's probably one that's like more difficult or that is more, what's the word? You don't want to do it more, okay? And that's probably, I'd imagine that's the one causing the most stress because when, excuse me, sorry. Because, damn, excuse me, sorry. Sorry guys. That is very rude. Okay, because when you have these 3 tasks, right? These 3 things that, and you have to do all of them. They're like projects and you have to do all 3 of them. Obviously, when you do one, like the base human instinct is to start on the easiest one because, you know, base human instinct is procrastinators. So it's like difficult to start on the hardest one when you got easier ones to start on, okay? But that's actually the wrong way to go about it. What I think you should do is I think you should identify the project or the thing that you really dislike the most. So the one that you think is the hardest, that you're gonna have to struggle through the most, that gives you the most stress. Pick that project and that's the one you work on. Because it's like this whole concept of eating the frog, right? So eat the frog is about doing the hardest thing first. Because, so I'll just quickly give you the analogy, okay? You got two plates in front of you. And you have to eat both of them every single morning, okay? One of the plates is like a lavishly cooked meal, your favorite food. The other plate is a fucking like cooked, like a boiled frog, okay? So it's good to eat, but it's just like a boiled frog. Maybe you're fucking French and you like that shit, but you know, most of us, we don't like the frog. So what most people do is they're gonna dig into the lavish meal first because they don't want to eat the frog. But the problem is when they dig into the lavish meal, all they're gonna be thinking about is how they have to eat a frog. So they're gonna be like dreading this frog. They're gonna be like, oh, but I have to eat a frog after this, right? And it makes the meal that they're currently eating taste like worse, and like they don't get to savor it and enjoy it. But when you eat the frog first, so you do the hardest thing first, then you can just enjoy this lavish meal and this delicious thing. You can savor it for as long as you want without this like dread, without this fucking like rain cloud hanging over you about you having to eat the frog. I think this probably applies here too. So out of your 3 projects, I want you to pick the one that you think is the hardest, most stressful, one that gives you the most like anxiety, and that's the one you should chip away at first. Because otherwise you work on the other project and then this big like looming threat is going to be just like hanging over your head. Okay, so some very practical tips, okay? One of the first ones I say is basically just once you pick a task, you have to work on it for at least 20 minutes. So you pick a project to work on, you have to work on it for 20 minutes, okay? Obviously, try and pick the hardest one, but you just have to work on it for at least 20 minutes or 25 minutes or 30 minutes, whatever, like pick a time, but it can't be like 5 minutes or 10. So at least like 20, the longer the better. And just this period of time goes to purely focus on just this one task. That's going to help around with a bit of switching. It also sounds like it could just be like a base procrastination problem, okay? So what I could also say is that, you know, you could switch up the environment. So one thing that always works for me, because, you know, if I'm studying for finals, right, I got like 3 different finals. Maybe, I don't know if it's the exact same, but maybe it's the same, right? I got like 3 different finals to study for, all different subjects. What I usually do is I'll just go to the library and I'll bring my laptop, but inside my binder, like let's say I have a math final, a chem final, and a bio final, okay? And I have all 3 of them at the same time. if you're struggling with picking these, what you can do is you can like go to the library. So this removes yourself from these like other things. And when you go to the library, you only bring your material for like your math. So you only bring your math notebooks and like your pencils, your calculator, and then you just hammer out math, because you can't do chem, you can't do bio. You don't have like your notes or your note packages or anything. And then, you go home, then you drop off your math shit. You only grab your chemistry note pack and your chemistry notes, and you go to the library, you hit that. Maybe that can help a little. I have a script for this, so let's go see what's on my script. I haven't had to use it yet. No, I think I've said everything I wanted to say. Sorry, I want to give you more practical tips. I want to help a bit more. Okay, another thing that you could potentially do is to use a blocker. Okay, so this is kind of like the same thing as going to the library, because you go to the library, it's like, and you only grab one thing. It's like you block yourself from the rest of these things. You could also use I use a cold turkey. I use an app called Cold Turkey Blocker, which blocks things on my computer, so I can't use them and I can't access them. And if this is a problem for you, you can block like the other apps, or like, so I don't know what your 3 projects are, okay? But let's say, like, hypothetically, I'm just to provide an example. It's a presentation, an essay, and some other thing, okay? Maybe some business thing. I don't really know. I could, like, let's say you make your presentation on, like, PowerPoint, okay? You could use your Cold Turkey Blocker. So you can just, the one I literally have is called Cold Turkey Blocker. I might have it linked. You can use it if you want to. But you can like go on the app and you can literally block the website, like, or the app, like Microsoft PowerPoint or Google Drive or whatever you use to do it. You're literally barred from working on this thing. That's going to help like reduce your urges to like switch, and to help you maintain your focus on one thing. Yeah, you can like block the other ones as well and purely focus on this like one task you have. Okay. Yeah, I think that's everything I have to say about this. If I ever come up with any like genius insight that I missed, I'll like post in the comments or something, or like anything. If you have any questions, please let me know, okay? Hopefully this helped you. Hopefully this, like fixed your problem, and like some of the things in this video were of value to you. Hopefully, please be of value, bro. I'm begging right now. Please be of value. Please. Yeah, but that's basically everything I have to say about this as of right now. If you have any questions, please let me know. Hopefully this helps you. I'm really hoping like this like makes an impact and like helps you solve your problem, okay? If it doesn't, you feel free to yell at me in the comments, okay? But thank you. Bye-bye.